Greetings, cinephiles. Are you looking for a movie analysis podcast that stands above the rest? Then look no further than Collateral Cinema, the only movie podcast that matters.
We analyze good movies, we analyze bad movies, and yes, we also analyze the in-betweens of the world of cinema.
So if you like what you hear, find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
And listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and wherever you get your podcasts.
And yes, my friends, we are 420 friendly. So when you listen to us, smoke it if you've got it. And now, here's a new episode of Collateral Gaming. The show starts right now.
I'm Ashley Chancellor.
And I'm Zachary Gio.
And this is Collateral Gaming Game Launch.
Welcome to Collateral Gaming, the only video game podcast that matters, where we focus on good games, bad games, and everything in between in the world of gaming. As you know, I am Zachary Largehead Gio, just chilling. It's good to be back, buddy. How are you doing, Ash?
Oh, I am doing great. And folks, we are podcasting across the United States. Zach's in Georgia. I'm in Texas.
I am indeed in the young Georgia.
As per usual. And yes, my friends, we are a 420 friendly podcast. Yeah, man, it is great to fucking be here to talk about this game that we're going to talk about, buddy. I know we've been looking forward to this since it was announced. It came out the same fucking day.
Bro, can you imagine Shadow dropping a remaster of Metroid fucking Prime? Just say, oh, hey guys, by the way, this is out now. Congrats. Go play it. Have fun.
Yeah, no shit. Like that was fucking incredible, dude. That was the biggest news of the Nintendo Direct. And we even got a really fucking good Tears of the Kingdom trailer and a lot of other cool announcements, which I'm sure we'll bring up on the news segment. But I don't know, Metroid kind of stole the show because they were like, yeah, after this Direct is over, you can go install it. $40. It's just the first game, and I know a lot of people were kind of expecting the trilogy. I'm okay with it because it just means that we can buy Prime 2 for $40, hopefully here a little later, and then Metroid Prime 3, you know, and I'm cool with it.
Glad
whatever.
That they didn't. I'm sorry for cutting you off. I'm glad that they released Prime 1 remastered instead of just porting the exact same Prime trilogy to the Switch. Like everybody would have gotten it, and I guarantee you they would have charged us for it too. It probably would have been like $60 for a ported Prime trilogy or something like that. But I am much happier that they chose to just remaster Prime and release it. I don't know if we'll get a full remaster of 2 and 3, but maybe at least some HD, you know, some updated textures and updated, you know, cutscenes and stuff like that. But Metroid Prime Remastered, like y'all already know, I love The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Like that is a fantastic game. Like Zelda is my shit, but Metroid Prime is my favorite game of all time. I love that game so much. I have beaten that game probably 30 or 40 times. And when they announced Prime Remastered, Ash can tell you, I was at work watching the Direct and I lost my shit. And I immediately started blowing up this man's phone like, Ash, Jesus Christ, Ash.
I was at work and I'm not too busy at work, so like it's not a big deal. But I was like paying. I think I was at a meeting right whenever you were texting me, and I was like, oh shit. And I looked at my phone and I was like, no way. And so I'm like trying to have this meeting and like hold in the news, and I'm texting Zach. And it's like, dude, yeah, no, because this was just fucking incredible. I wanted, like, yeah, I was so.
It was unreal.
Yeah, when he texted me though, I actually thought like it was going to be the whole fucking trilogy or something. I was like, "What?" And then you were like, "Yeah," and they didn't mention a price, so I think it's free. And I'm like, "No, there's no way it's free."
How wrong I was. You know, and you know what? I instantly bought that shit. I put down $40. I was like, "You better believe it. I'm gonna buy it."
And then
why not?
The physical release is supposed to be on the 22nd, I believe. So yeah.
I went ahead and bought the game. I know people are going to get the physical release because of collecting and stuff.
Yeah.
But for me, I really just wanted to play the game. So I was happy downloading it the second I got home and just waiting so impatiently for that shit to just finally finish installing so that I could start it up. And oh my God, what a beautiful job Nintendo has done. This is not only the best remaster that Nintendo has ever created, it is the most beautiful game that Nintendo has ever launched. It is the best looking game on the Nintendo Switch, and by default, that makes it the best looking Nintendo game of all time. How quaint that they would take a 2002 masterpiece and just completely just deck it out with the most beautiful textures, overlays. They updated some of the motion in the cutscenes. It's just fantastic. Everything about it just screams perfection.
I think you're right. I mean, this is the best looking game on Switch that I can think of.
Oh, dude, there's nothing that even comes close.
Yeah. No, you're
Wild
right.
looks great, but it's still very cartoony, and it runs in, solid 30 FPS. It runs beautifully, and it's a massive game, so I didn't expect them to take it to a full 60. But
wait, I thought it did run at 60.
No, Breath of the Wild is at 30.
Oh, Breath of the Wild.
Yeah. Metroid Prime runs at 60, and it is a very smooth and sexy 60.
Okay, you're talking about Zelda. Zelda runs at 30, but Metroid Prime runs at 60. That's in it consistently. I mean, I didn't think I noticed any frame drops. None. I think I heard of one area in the game where it does slow down that somebody reported, but I never ran into that. So
that's because their Switch is broken. I never experienced a frame dip, not once.
Yeah. But it looks beautiful. It honestly, in some ways, pushes the boundaries of what a remaster does.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't quite call it a remake. I mean, it is clearly branded a remaster, and its main focus is on enhancing the visuals. But it is definitely the definitive version of the game. The number of controls that are offered, because they updated the visuals, of course. They made some of the the more important version differences from some of like the PAL version, the Wii version of the game.
Oh, yeah.
They also implemented some new changes to the game, like just completely new to this version. Updated the controls, offered multiple control styles, which we'll talk about for sure. What else?
They changed a lot of small things in the game. Yeah. Like, obviously, there's a lot of controversy over the difference in the doors in the game. I like doors. That shit's so damn dumb, bro.
0 out of 10, literally unplayable.
Yeah. Stop. Yeah, there are people online that are just like cringing at the fact that they changed the doors. I like the change. The doors are brighter, easier to see. It looks more like a force field than it does just a door with a colorful outline. Now, granted, the door, doesn't have as unique of a design, but I would trade functionality. I would trade visuals for functionality and smoothness any day of the week. Because I mean, come on, let's be real. While those doors are specific in the original Prime game, sometimes they took forever to open.
Yeah. No, there was a meme the other day, and it was like, back in my day, we didn't have dual stick controls, spring ball, and the doors took forever to load while we listened to the GameCube's loud clicking. And we were grateful. And then, sure, Grandma, let's get you to bed.
Sure, Grandma, let's get you to bed.
Yeah, no shit, man. But yeah, okay, in regards to the door thing, all right, here's the thing, right? The original dev that apparently worked on the door for months, I think Zoid was his name?
Zoid.
Or something?
Yep, I think so.
Yeah, Zoid Kirsch. Anyway, I think that's the dude that did it. I'll verify that here as we're talking. But anyway, the thing is that he says that it's like, he kind of posits it as like, hey, they fucked with the alpha levels and it's a mistake, but it's clearly not a mistake, because if you go look in the extras section and the specifically the remastered concept art, the doors are drawn that way for the remaster concepts.
Yeah.
With the just that brighter design, and I think they did what he said. They changed the alpha level, but it was intentional, and it makes sense. The doors are a lot brighter now, which is good, because the rest of the remaster is a little darker. And okay so the doors are brighter, easier to see, and they're more consistent with their design in like Metroid Prime 2, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And
100%.
Even 3. Well, 3 had all kinds of doors, but
3 is a whole different can of worms, man. But I mean, yeah, people that are upset about the doors obviously forget about how Prime 2 looks as far as the doors are concerned, their functionality and all that stuff. It's not worth getting your panties in a wad over, considering the fact that the rest of the game is a fucking it's an impressionistic painting. Nintendo really just went all. I was watching a video earlier, Ash, of a side-by-side direct comparison of the remaster versus the original, bro, and it is mind-boggling how different it is. When I was playing the remaster for the first time, I was like, yeah, this looks great. But it's been a long time since I played the original Prime, and so I didn't realize just how much they changed. There are a lot of, it's not a remake, it's a remaster, but there are a lot of texture models, objects in the game, a lot of stuff that have been retexturized completely redone. Like when you're first starting the game and you see the vast reaches of space, and then it starts showing the space pirate frigate Orpheon, you can see that side-by-side comparison. Ash, actually, I'm about to send you that link right now so that you can we're doing a game launch episode. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, I'll send you this. I'm going to send you this right now because it's, brother, it is crazy.
No, yeah, the game looks fucking phenomenal. It was just so awesome to be able to get thrown back into the world. See, I've played through most of the game on the original GameCube. I later finished it when we for the trilogy release on the Wii. I think I finished it. Yeah, I don't know. It was a long ass time ago, but anyway.
I'm sending it to you right now, brother.
Now, Zach, you've played through the game like dozens of times.
Yeah.
Let me look at this real quick.
I've played the original Metroid Prime probably 20 to 30 times, and I've now beaten the remaster for a third time.
That's awesome.
So, I haven't you guys are probably going to think I'm fucking nuts.
I haven't actually beaten the remaster yet. I think what we'll do here on this episode, we'll kind of structure it like our Skyward Sword episode, and like for the first half of it, we'll keep it spoiler free for anybody who hasn't listened, and then for the second half of it, we'll do our full spoiler take, since this is a 20-something-year-old game.
Oh, bro, I am honestly not worried about spoilers. If you haven't played this game, then that's your fault. I'm just kidding. Go play it and experience it. It's $40, but it is very much worth it. It is, at least if you move through it pretty quickly, it'll take you between 6 and 10 hours. You know, some people it's taking them 12, other people it's taking them 5. It just depends on, how fast you want to move through the game. I can get through the game in like 7.5 hours, 100%. But it's worth it. And I'll probably play it 2 or 3 more times before I take a long break. I'm excited that it's here. I'm excited that the release of this game, if Dread didn't do a good enough job of putting Metroid on the map, this definitely did. This was kind of like the hit that sent the ball out of the park. This was the home run. Because I'm wanting to hopefully believe that Nintendo is going to put as much faith and effort into Metroid as they do Mario and Zelda. Don't get me wrong. I'm really fucking pumped for May 12th. I cannot wait for Tears of the Kingdom. I'm chomping at the bit to get started on that game. And I've been loving my PlayStation 5. Like, I've been knee-deep in a bunch of games while I'm planning a wedding. Life has been insane. But now that Metroid has kind of got a spotlight on it, I'm very happy because we waited 19 years for a continuation of the Metroid storyline. Metroid Dread was finally Metroid 5. We have been waiting almost 20 years for that continuation. I won't be surprised if we see Metroid 6 in 2 or 3 years. I will not be surprised if it comes quickly because people want it now. It's enjoyable. Whether it's 2D format or 3D format or 2.5D format or 3D format, it's something that people are enjoying. Metroid Prime is the top seller on Amazon right now.
Yeah.
That kills me. I was so excited to see that.
I'm kind of surprised too because Retro isn't as doesn't take usually as long on their releases than Nintendo does. When like there wasn't that big of a gap between Prime 1 and 2 and even 3, I feel like. So it's like Retro Studios
wasn't bad at all.
I think that what they should definitely do very quickly, and I seriously, Retro, if you're not doing this, do it because everybody wants it. Pump out the Prime 2 and 3 remasters. whether that's before or after Prime 4. And then, yeah, like I cannot wait to see something with Prime 4. I'm so ready. It is basically nothing to show us so far except for that little teaser and the fact that they're working on it. Oh, and the fact that they scrapped development, but they restarted with Retro. You know what? I'm fine with that. But it's been a couple years at least since that. So I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to hear some news about this game.
Man, I'm very excited because I went from my very first Metroid was Fusion, and I went from not really understanding what the series was about at all to knowing the story from the very beginning, having read all of the manga, playing all the games multiple times, including Other M. Yes, I understand that game is hot dog shit, but I have beaten it multiple times. Why didn't Samus turn on her Varia suit?
Why?
Why?
Okay, that fucks with me because it's like there's just no reason that she should not be able to have the various suit on. It's like, why was it deauthorized? First of all, why was it deauthorized in the first place? It's not like a weapon. There's no reason for it to be deauthorized. Two, by
the whole logic of the fucking game, she should have been at full power from the start.
Why does second of all, yeah, why does Adam not authorize it when he's sending her through the lava area? Third of all, why doesn't Samus just use her own fucking common sense and just be like, oh, hey, the Various suit would prevent me from taking damage in the lava area, so I should be able to equip it because there's no reason I shouldn't be able to equip this. There's no reason I need to wait for this to be authorized.
I'm fucking dying. Let me change this real quick so that I'm not fucking dying.
Yeah.
Other M is garbage, man. Why? It's Team Ninja's fault. I blame Team Ninja.
It goes against everything you've come to understand about Metroid level design, because in a Metroid game, you avoid the high temperature areas until you get the Various suit. That's the point. You're not supposed to explore those. You're supposed to walk into one of those rooms, go, oh shit, I don't have the right equipment, and head out. And Metroid Other M, they throw that in your face and have you actually have to take damage and run through the high temperature zone. And I don't know, it just goes against conventional logic. And I know that Prime 2 is my favorite Metroid game, and it does a similar thing, but it makes it different, so it's okay. But specifically going through a lava area in a Metroid game, no.
Oh, you're talking about Dark Aether. I was like, what are you talking about? And then you're talking about like how you have to trek through Dark Aether. But that's different because you have to use the fact that you're constantly dying. That is a puzzle in and of itself. But as the further you progress through the game, the Dark Suit and then the Light Suit, one of the greatest suits in Metroid history, you know, that's fun. And I'm actually about to start another playthrough of Echoes, and I'm really excited because I've beaten that game all the way through twice. So that shows you just how different my view on Echoes and Prime is. I don't dislike Echoes at all. It's just Prime hits me on a different level.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. So yeah, circling back to Prime, by the way, because to as an example, right, Metroid Other M does not do this well. Metroid Prime does. Metroid Prime in many ways is kind of the definitive example of that level design for me. And I know that because Metroid Prime was like the first Metroid game I think I ever played. And so I remember walking into Magmore Caverns for the first time and trying to basically juggernaut my way through it while I'm losing health. I didn't realize that there was another item that I was supposed to get that was going to prevent this. So, you know, like imagine the shock for me, right? I'm a little kid, I'm playing Metroid Prime, but that's the beauty of it, is that it works as a first Metroid game, and it also works as a continuation of the series. And so, you know, you kind of just approach the level design of this game and you learn it, and it becomes ingrained in you, or it did for me. And I just think that, yeah, like specifically that section of the game and the way that Prime operates, it's doesn't hold your hand and tell you where to go. I mean, eventually you'll get a hint if you wait around, but you can turn that off even, at least in this version. So, but most of the time it kind of just lets you explore and figure out and think, oh, hey, I remember I have an ability that'll allow me to backtrack through this area now. So again, going back to the Various suit, it's like, I realized that I wasn't going anywhere with that area of the game. I decided to explore the Chozo ruins more. I eventually defeat Flagra, get the Various suit, and then I'm like, oh shit, now I can go back to the lava area. And I get to explore Magmor Caverns, and then you get to Fendrana. And Fendrana, you get the boost ball, and then you think, oh, I remember seeing areas where I could use this half-pipe thing. So you go back to Talon, you get the space jump. Then you go back to Fendrana, right?
Yeah, it's just Prime is such a well-made game. It's such a well-oiled machine that the more you move through it, the more fun it gets, because you realize, oh shit, I can do this now. And so you're pumped to go back. And it's a puzzle that keeps unlocking itself. And then you realize, oh shit, I'm actually uncovering something here. And so the story kind of unveils itself to you. And really, it's up to the player. Another thing I really love about Metroid Prime is it's up to the player how much story you want to get. Because you can just make your way through the game, or you can scan everything and learn exactly what's going on. We're trying to avoid spoilers right now, aren't we?
At least for the first half of this episode. I mean, we're almost coming up on that point. So,
okay. Because like there's something that I really want to talk about, that it's a point in the game that I work towards. And then I always take a picture of it. And then from that point on, I feel like the fucking Doomslayer running through the game. Just, it's so good. So we'll talk about that here in a minute.
Yeah. Bring that up later. Make a note of it. Yeah. Yeah, no, I forgot what I was going to say. I'm high as fuck.
Yeah, I'm not. So I can say random shit if you'd like. But basically, no, people have been talking about Prime getting a remaster for the longest time, but I swear to God, up until the second it was announced, I strictly thought that it was just a rumor. I thought that there was no way that they were going to go back and remaster at least Nintendo. I thought that there was absolutely no way that Nintendo was going to go back and remaster a 20-year-old game, because they released the Super Mario 3D All-Stars thing, but they didn't remaster those games. They just ported them, you know? And a lot of people really enjoyed that stuff. And so when I heard that Prime might be getting a remaster, I was like, oh, that's BS. There's no way that's going to happen. And then Nintendo fucking shadow drops it.
Shadow drops it. Yeah,
in
no shit,
the middle
man.
of probably what is the best Nintendo Direct that we have ever gotten. Like, I'm just going to come out and say it. I think that is the best Nintendo Direct that we have had. And not only did it shine light on a remaster of one of the best games ever made as far as Nintendo's standards. For me, it's my favorite game of all time. But it also shined light on the new Zelda that we're getting. It put a giant spotlight on Metroid, making it even bigger of a series compared to what Dread did for it. And it just brought back that excitement for video games that I had been lacking for the longest time. I was really excited to get my PlayStation 5. God of War Ragnarok was a fantastic experience. I loved every second of it. And I was really excited to play it. But by the time I was done with it, I was just like, okay, now I'm just kind of chilling, waiting for another game. When I finished Metroid Prime, I was excited to go back through and play it again immediately. And my excitement for the rest of the series that I know is coming soon, as well as the release of this upcoming Zelda, I'm pumped right now. My blood is pumping. I'm so excited for the future of Nintendo. And they really just dropped the bomb in one 45-minute presentation. They brought back that excitement that I experienced as a little kid. Playing this game for the first time, everybody knows that the Phazon mines are in the game. That's not a spoiler. That's an area in the game that you traverse to. Plus, we're about halfway through, so I don't give a shit anymore. If you haven't played the game, stop listening right now and go through it. Experience it. If you don't, we're gonna get into spoiler territory now. So if you haven't played it and you want to experience it, go online and watch a playthrough or play the game yourself. It's $40. If you don't have a Switch, I highly suggest you get one. If you have a PC, you can safely download what's called Prime Hack and experience the entire trilogy with mouse and keyboard controls, but it's also compatible with controller. So play it however you see fit, but we're diving into spoilers, so if you listen and something gets spoiled, it's your own goddamn fault. So everybody knows that the phase-on mines are in the game. That part of the game, when I was a little kid, used to scare me. Because the second you get there, you immediately walk into this pathway there's a bunch of radioactive material, which in the game is known as phase-on. That's why it's the phase-on mines. The space pirates are mining it for its uses as far as increasing their firepower, their ability to scavenge, mine, and take control, because they want to dominate the galaxy. That's what the space pirates are about.
Yeah.
You walk into this place called the phase-on mines, and it's this dark, like eerie tunnel with phase-on and radioactive material underneath this metal pathway that you're walking, and the music changes. And it just gets eerie. It sounds like the best way I can describe it is it's like bubbles. That's the music that it feels like you're listening to bubbles, wind chimes, bubbles, and like a creepy organ type feel. I don't know if I'm describing that accurately, but it's eerie. And then you walk through the pathway, you open the door, and you just see this big open excavation site. And it's called the phase-on mines, and the music starts. And the second you get going, there are space pirates in the room that take notice of you, and you are immediately into fighting. Because that is where they are mining phase-on. I'm sorry, Ash, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, like, you're heading right into their territory. And I mean, you had previously gone into their research base, but that was kind of more of a remote area. They don't have their strongest warriors there. Here they do. This is their direct home base on Talon 4. And, you know, you are just kind of, at this point in the game, you've got enough weaponry that you can just deal with all of them, right? Like, you've got all the tools that you need, basically, at this point to dig deep into their territory, and then you get a couple more powerful items there.
Yeah, it's a very intense experience. And you have to make your way all the way through the phase-on mines. Yeah, do you like the meme I just sent you? You make your way all the way through the phase-on mines, and the first time I played through it, I died halfway through my first trek because it's hard.
Oh, yeah.
It's difficult because if you don't really have a comfortable feel for the game, or you get nervous or anxious easily, that area in the game will take hold of you real quick.
I will say, in this playthrough, and I'm playing on the normal setting, which I believe normal is casual and veteran is normal now, actually, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm playing on normal, and I haven't died yet. I haven't had a single game over, but maybe it's probably because I actually have played through the game a couple times at least. So
yeah, I didn't die on my first playthrough on the casual one, or no, normal. No, I never did casual. I never died on the normal run through, but I've died once on the hard playthrough because I got trapped in a room with one of those security drones, and they both like pinched me in a corner, and I couldn't take them out. It was hyper mode
now, or hyper mode is hard now, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah,
but it's harder than hyper mode was. Like, it's actually really difficult. Going through the space pirate base is tough, bro. I almost died going through the space pirate base because the pirates are like much more aggressive. They take more damage, and all of the turrets in the game are practically mega turrets. Like they take a lot of damage. Like, I think it takes a super missile and a half to destroy a mega turret.
Damn.
So it's like 7 or 8 missiles before that thing breaks. It's tough. But
yeah.
Shit's wild. So
I'm
glad that they upped the difficulty.
Yes. Yeah. No, good on them. Yeah, that's the challenge that everybody needed. What would be cool is if they would like patch it and add like a new difficulty setting, right? Like challenge players even more.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I'm really excited that they made it more difficult. The fight with Metroid Prime is actually really hard now too, because the second phase has always been kind of lame to me because you just got to wait for him to open up a pool of phase-on. You got to wait until he opens up a pool of phase-on. You got to stand in it and use your hyper mode to do damage to him. So, but in this version of the game, in the hard mode, he like runs at you a lot and like bumps into you, and he stays over the pool of phase-on that he generates. So it makes it difficult for you to actually get into it. So and the fight lasts like 20 minutes. Both phases together is like 20-25 minutes. So it's a pretty difficult battle, and I'm just happy that they made it more difficult because older players or new players that are experiencing it for the first time have the casual and normal modes to really enjoy it and get a feel for it, and the veteran players can go in and get their asses kicked on the hard mode. It makes me really happy because they gave this game the TLC that it needed. Let's talk accessibility for a minute, Ash.
Okay.
Let's talk about the differences that they really brought forth. When they released the Metroid Prime trilogy for the Wii, it was really cool and it was innovative. It was a new take on Prime 1 and 2. It gave you the ability to use motion controls for aiming, and the nunchuck was really cool for movement and locking on and I guess we'll call it Z targeting. And it was really cool and innovative. With the Switch versions of this game, they didn't just give us the original controls for Metroid Prime. They didn't just give us the motion aiming controls from the trilogy. They gave us 4 different controller schemes that are fully customizable. You can change the buttons and make it to where it is perfectly comfortable for you. The default is the OG Metroid Prime gyro controls, where the left stick moves Samus and you have to actually stop to free aim and stuff like that. You have dual analog controls, which is basically like you're playing a Call of Duty game because it's getting first-person shooter treatment. Even though I wouldn't call Metroid Prime a first-person shooter, I'd call it more like a first-person adventure.
It's a first-person adventure, yeah.
Yeah. It is a first-person shooter technically because you are shooting things in first person, but it's more of an adventure, and you're not really focused on multiplayer combat. That's not the focus. Isn't the shooting? The focus is the exploration and the story.
Yeah. So to me, Metroid has always felt like Zelda, but in space. You know, it's like the level design is that of an action adventure game. It just happens to be in first person, and you happen to be shooting.
Yep, 100%. And also it's got platforming elements in there, so it's an all around good time.
Plus platforming elements, yeah.
But they have the dual analog and they have the gyro controls. They have hybrid controls, which is basically dual analog with gyro motion control. And then they have just the straight up motion controls for the Wii, like how they had it on the Wii. And it's so innovative because if there's a specific way that somebody likes to play, they can make it comfortable for themselves. You can up the sensitivity. They have colorblind modes. Let's talk about Nintendo coming through with the accessibility. That's not really something Nintendo has shined a light on in their previous games, but with this game, they really went all out.
They did.
And I've seen a lot of people. I'm sorry, Ash. Go ahead. I have so much to talk about, man.
They really did go all out with the accessibility options. But kind of circling back to the controls, like you mentioned. So I played this on handheld as I have a Switch Lite. I would have loved to have played with the motion controls and tried that, but I was also really excited to try like the modern dual stick controls. What I found was the best combination was do the dual stick controls with the gyro, and then in handheld mode. And for me, it's very similar to the way that like Ocarina 3D and Majora 3D played, where you could move with the stick, but you could also get a little bit of that precision back with the gyro. So if you're playing in handheld, dual stick plus gyro changed my life.
Yeah, I didn't play this game at all in handheld. I played the entire game docked. I don't want to play it handheld now that I've looked at it docked, and it's just glorious.
That's fair.
It's such a glorious experience, man. They did a complete overhaul of the textures. The game looks glorious. I sent Ash. We're recording in Discord, and he and I are in a little chat room that I put in my server, and I sent him okay, so if you are near a computer or if you're listening on your phone, you can go to YouTube, and there's a user called Game and Mike. And he's got an ultimate cutscene comparison: Metroid Prime Remastered versus the original.
Yeah, I have that playing trilogy right now in the background.
It's wild, the difference. It is absolutely incredible how different it is.
I have that playing while we're recording, and I'm looking at these the differences. See, I'm looking at right now the Meta Ridley fight, and yeah, I mean, and they just played the Mega Pirate fight as well. And it's just night and day. It looks phenomenal. Like I said, I think this is definitely the definitive version of the game.
100%.
The best way that this game has been presented, and
we're in kind of an era of, I'm gonna go ahead and say this is a very, very, very hot and spicy take. So, we're in an era right now of unoriginality. There is not very many new things happening as far as video games, we're getting a lot of remakes, ports, and remasters. That being said, when you take something as glorious as Metroid Prime, a game that came out in 2002, and you completely overhaul it 20 years later to not only reinvigorate older fans of the series that enjoyed that game, but also to enlighten and encourage newer people to play it and enjoy it, that is acceptable to me. Like, The Last of Us, I'm going to hate on The Last of Us right now. I love that game. It came out in 2013 for the PlayStation, I think for the PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
And then they overhauled it and remastered it for the PlayStation 4, which is great. But then Naughty Dog's like, you know what? Let's fucking do it again. Let's completely remaster it and rebuild it from the ground up and make the exact same game, just make it look a lot better and release it on PS5. And let's charge $70 for it.
It is technically a remake, but it's like they remade it and they just made it exactly the same.
Yeah, it's like they completely ran out of ideas. Now, I don't hate Naughty Dog. I don't like The Last of Us 2. I don't think very many people do.
I liked it. I mean, we talked about it actually. Yeah, we both liked it at the time, but I guess you've kind of come back and revisited it, and I haven't.
Now that I have revisited the game, it's complete and utter dog shit. And as you just play through it again, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's painful. You spend half the game playing as a person who murdered a beloved character.
Yeah, I wish Naughty Dog had just
to
released something
his
else
child
before they remade The Last of Us. It was just very, very, very early for that.
They need to make a game called The First of Us and just make it about cavemen.
I would have
great.
Would have rather they go with like Jack and Daxter or one of their older franchises, but we did get a Crash remaster. So
yeah, we did. I still have those actually, but I'm just really happy that they took this game and rebuilt it and and remastered it because it needed it, and I'm so happy now. And let's just kind of touch on something else they did. They put Game Boy games on the Switch now. That and to me is beautiful. And pretty soon we'll probably get Metroid Fusion, which launched on the exact same day as Metroid Prime, which is another one of my favorite Metroid titles. And I'm very excited to see Nintendo taking strides and like stepping forward and making shit better.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
I'm really happy about this.
Yeah, no, I'm really happy to see it as well. Like you said, it was a very, very, very fun, what is it? A surprise, but a welcome one.
Yeah, 100%.
Surprise to be sure, but a welcome one, right? The Palpatine quote. To hear about Metroid Prime being remastered, it's been such a journey for me to be able to go back and fucking play through the original, experience again. And, just everything else that they did with that direct, the Tears of the Kingdom announcement was fucking awesome. I'm really happy to see that that's on track. I'm really, really, really fucking stoked for that coming out in May.
Yeah.
And then they did Pikmin 4. That looks pretty cool. They're bringing Hector to Fire Emblem Engage, my boy Hector. I was happy to hear that.
Yeah.
What else? Oh, and like you said, the Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance games coming to Switch. Yeah. In fact, the original Fire Emblem is coming if it isn't there already. I looked. Minish Cap is on there. Fuck yeah. Underrated classic.
Oh yeah, brother. You spoke my language right there. I heard the Minish Cap, and I was like. Yeah, that game is great. I'm very happy that they're kind of letting us all have this nostalgic flavor. I don't like that we have to pay the $50, but it's only $50 a year. It's like it's got that Xbox Live feel to it.
Yeah.
But I'm happy with it, and I'm really happy with the direction that Nintendo's going in. We're getting a lot of good stuff, which is about time. I'm kind of sad that it's happening. It's better late than never, but the Switch's lifespan is almost over. And so I wish they had done this a little bit sooner, but I'm not complaining about the timing of Metroid Prime Remastered. I'm just hoping that all of this translates to whatever new console that Nintendo is getting ready to unleash, and Metroid Prime Remastered is definitely the highlight of the Nintendo Switch for me. That and, Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, having all three of those games, Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild, and Metroid Prime Remastered on the Switch, will make it worth the money that I've put into it.
Now remaster Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door.
I actually have never played that game, so I'm eager to do it. My dad has beaten the hell out of that game, but I never played it myself.
Well, you're in luck because we're talking about it on the podcast either next month or let's see. I have the list here. Paper Mario, yeah. Next month we're supposed to do Paper Mario. So
is it available on Switch anywhere?
Huh?
Is it available on Switch anywhere, or am I going to have to emulate it?
You're going to have to emulate it, but I've emulated it before. You can run it on Dolphin, or I actually have RetroArch, and RetroArch is great. RetroArch is kind of like an all-in-one. Yeah. Nintendo, if you don't want us to pirate your games, release remasters of those games or port them, right?
Yeah, or make a GameCube emulator to go on the Switch.
Well, the problem is they can't do a GameCube emulator now because then they would have to include games like Metroid Prime and now and you know the other ones, so that which they're may end up remastering. So now I feel like they kind of locked themselves into a corner with that one, but still, maybe somewhere down the line or maybe on the next console, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so final thoughts on Metroid Prime Remastered?
I am 100% thrilled to the teeth that this is in existence. I am so thankful that they took the time to do it. I cannot wait to see where the series goes, and I love it. It is beautiful. It is a perfected masterpiece turned into an even more perfected masterpiece. And I didn't think the game could get any better, and here they go, proving me wrong. What about you, brother?
Dude, hell yeah. Like I said, this is the superior version of Metroid Prime. It includes all the important differences and more, the control schemes, the accessibility options, everything. This is the best way that Metroid Prime has ever been presented, and I'm really excited to see if they'll do Metroid Prime 2 and 3. Like, because Prime 2 Echoes, I'm gonna come if they do that. I'm gonna come all over my Switch.
Don't do that, because then you won't be able to play it.
I'm gonna use the cum beam.
Gross. I do need them to remaster the next two games, because that would be so exciting. So, but yeah, man, I'm good. So I appreciate you guys tuning in and listening.
Yep. You can find Collateral Gaming wherever you get your podcasts. We are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, YouTube. If there's somewhere we're not, let us know. We also do have a Patreon where we have exclusive full-length Let's Play video game commentaries. And I think that we should do Metroid Prime Remastered. As I think you should. One of us should, or we should do it together.
I'll stream it, and we could do. And honestly, Ash, we can set it up to where we can take a day and I can just do a full playthrough of the game.
Do it.
I'll 100% it.
We can do it, and you can do it in under 6 hours. So yeah, like let's fucking do it. Because
if I stream that game, I'll take a full 8 hours to do it.
Honestly, we may even make it a Twitch event and then just chop up the bits and release those individually on the Patreon.
That sounds good to me.
Or something. We'll see. We'll see what we're gonna do. But yeah, no, look forward to that, because I think that's a really good opportunity. I think that's something we should do very soon. Like I mentioned, we are doing Paper Mario next month. This month we are supposed to be doing Ace Attorney trilogy. So the hope is that by the next week we go ahead and get that recorded, and then part 2 by the end of the month, and we should be on track. And I'm really excited because the Ace Attorney trilogy is just in my heart. One of my favorite game series. I grew to love it very, very quickly. And I'm not like a visual novel guy, but to me, it's not really a visual novel type of game. It's a lawyer simulator, and it's piecing together and finding contradictions in witness testimonies, and it's a whodunit mystery, and it's fucking awesome. And the characters are amazing, and God, I cannot wait to talk about that series. We're also doing a collab with Collateral Cinema on both Need for Speed this month, and tying into the Ace Attorney games, Takashi Miike's Ace Attorney, as we are doing Collateral Cinema's Miike-versary this month.
Yep. All right. Hell yeah, brother.
So stick around for that. maybe later this month another bonus round on game recommendations or something. But yeah. And then we're actually kind of drawing into the final part of the season, I guess I should say. Because I mean, next month, like I said, we're doing Paper Mario, and then it's April, and then our season finale is going to be on Tears of the Kingdom in May.
Dude, I'm pumped. We've got a really heavy hitting season coming up.
Yeah. It's going to
be a lot of fun.
Dope.
But thank you guys for tuning in. It is always a lot of fun. Getting together with Ash and talking about stuff like this. Prime Remastered is a masterpiece. Prime Remasterpiece.
Yep.
There we go.
Hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. Let us know how you feel about the latest episodes, or if there's anything you'd like us to revisit. I think that's about it for now, huh?
Oh yeah, I'm good on that, man. I'm excited. I get to see my fiance in a few hours.
Hells yeah, bro. Alrighty, well, I've been Ashley Chancellor.
And I am and will always be Zachary Gio.
This has been Collateral Gaming. We are out.
Audi 5000.
Collateral Gaming is a Collateral Media podcast. All music and game clips are owned by their respective creators and are used for educational purposes only. Please don't sue us. We're poor.